everybody home. So nice job on the setup there, boys.
And that's what's fallen in line when we said that Ryan Hunter-Reay could really zoom in on the back of Tagliani in the tighter section because he's got more downforce. But when they get on that long chute, we saw Ryan Hunter-Reay pull out, but he stalled out. And Tags kept the position.
Yep. The team principals for the FAS team is Andre Ozzie, who is an entrepreneur from Montreal. Also Jim Frudenberg and actor Jason Priestley, who at one time, of course, was a commentator on the IZOD IndyCar Series telecasts.
And Rob Edwards is managing that team. He's been around a lot. He's been with Derek Walker. He's been with lots of different teams. Or his longest tenure, of course, is with Walker Racing. But that's fantastic. You can pull some people together and run at the front of one of these races. And
you talk the next kind of key component. Like we said, he's got some really good guys around him with that fast racing team. Is Alan McDonald, who was TK's engineer last year. We know TK and Alan, they never really kind of meshed. But Alan McDonald, he's been with Andretti Green at the time. I believe he won a championship with Frank Keedy in 07 there. So I mean, that's some deep knowledge. And Tags can wheel a car as well as anybody when it comes to a street race. I think back when he got in Conquest car at Detroit, that second day, all of a sudden he was up into the top 10 and never been in a Dallara IZOD IndyCar Series car before.
When CART raced in Rio de Janeiro in 2000, Alex Tagliani was the pole sitter for that race. Well, it's still Dario Franchitti leading Tagliani. Ryan Hunter-Reay, Tony Kanaan, Dan Weldon is fifth in the Sao Paulo Indy 300 on Versus.
What? Giant peanut with sea salt. Dude, you're freaking me out.
Now, try Planters almonds with sea salt and olive oil.
Welcome to Brazil. Food and wine. Furniture. Jewelry. Technology. Biofuels.
I'm Tony Kanaan. Experience the energy of my Brazil.
Just another perfect day. I think I'll walk this way where the trees do sing. I'm feeling part of everything. And all my troubles seem to fade away. Skies look brighter.
The hybrid for everyone is here. The Insight, designed and priced for us all from Honda.
12 summers of boat hauling, 63 miles of commuting daily. For any extreme from the road to the racetrack, nothing beats Mobil 1. The choice of over half of all NASCAR teams. So put some NASCAR in your car. Mobil 1.
On the next Sports Jobs with Junior Seau, Junior works hard to get Indy 500 winner Scott Dixon back to victory lane.
I think he just blew it all up.
Some jobs are the pits.
Yeah, I don't know that you're quick enough.
Sports Jobs with Junior Seau. Next on Versus. Live next Sunday, the UFC arrives on Versus with a stacked card. Vera, Jones, Dos Santos, Gonzaga. Only on Versus.
Coming up next after our coverage of the Sao Paulo Indy 300, it's Sports Jobs with Junior Seau. Junior hits the track and gets down and dirty as a crewman on pit road for the Indy 500 winner Scott Dixon. Junior does the jobs that make sports work. Sports Jobs with Junior Seau coming up next here on Versus. Franchitti, Tagliani, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Tony Kanaan, and Dan Weldon. And Dan Weldon tops the list. Those drivers who have made the biggest move. Started 18th, up to 5th. Mike Conway has got 9. And finally, Ryan Hunter-Reay gets second position from Alex Tagliani. He worked on that for several laps and finally got the job done.
But he showed some great patience in doing it. So now he should probably stretch that out, especially as getting into the twisty section now.
So Tagliani, Jack, will drop back to 3rd position ahead of TK.
And Bob, what's what's happening as they go down in the low to 22 gallons of fuel. Tagliani is reporting to Rob Edwards, the car is starting to go just a little bit loose. Figure the Tags and the rest of the front runners should be coming into the pits in probably 10 to 11 more laps. So Tags figured it was smarter to let it get by rather than try and do a tussle with Ryan Hunter-Reay at this point.
And another point is, as we heard, Tags' car is just getting a little bit loose. So that means he's just kind of struggling to put the power down. But just make note, he started this race on the alternate Firestone tires, the reds, the ones that are a little softer, a little bit more grip. Now, TK, the guy racing him right now, Tony Kanaan has done an excellent job of staying with this lead pack, being on the primary black tires, which usually maybe aren't as fast. But they probably have a little longer shelf life than the reds, just because they're a harder compound, and they're designed to be that way. That's part of the give and take of the red Firestones versus the
here
blacks.
He comes.
And he'll make the pass to the inside, locks him up. No, he's not going to be able to do it.
He was being optimistic, wasn't he? but sometimes that optimism can take you out of the race. He did a good job of getting back behind him, and he'll keep pressuring him.
From Justin Wilson's onboard camera, it's like we have a banner that has come off of the side, the wall, and
the car ahead of him, which shown previous lap was Will Power, looked like it might have rubbed the barrier, just peeled a little bit of that off and just went right up over the camera.
As long as it took the camera and didn't get over his face, that's, that would be the problem.
Now remember, there is, again this season, there is the overtake button. And it has been somewhat improved. Last year it was about 5 horsepower. They've made some changes. They've taken away the fuel trim on the steering wheel, so now it's 9 to 10 horsepower. So when you're dragging down that long 9/10 of a mile straightaway, overtake assist, as we call it, is still in play. You get 22 seconds for each of those presses.
And Scott Dixon and Ryan Briscoe have used that button most here in the first few laps of the race.
But a follow-up to that, let's keep in mind, when you look at the pushes available, they're available, you get 22 seconds, but for a road course, they're maybe not as impactful as an oval. It's still a good tool, but not as impactful as when we go super speedway racing.
And Jack, they can't adjust the fuel from the cockpit, so they do have the overtake button.
And it's become very valuable for everybody. But guys, I've been really taking a look at what's been going on so far with those guys that pitted after the first full course yellow. And I defer to Jan here because he is the professor. But it's my opinion that right now you got to like Justin Wilson, Ryan Briscoe, as far as what they're doing. Because if they get a big chunk of yellow, they might be able to do this sucker in one more stop. Now, I'm looking at it, Jan, and I'm saying these guys could go far. It could go just about to lap 68 or 70. It's going to be kind of interesting. And you see, they're starting to carve their way up through the field already.
Yes, Jack. Jack, I think it would take, you said, a heap of yellow. It would take quite a bit at this point. The gamble that they played about coming in and making sure they didn't get cut tires is a good example of Justin Wilson and that disarrayed wing there for Castro Neves. But at the moment, everybody is on a two-stop strategy, but now we go full course caution, so we'll have to see.
That is
wave those yellows up there, and as they come into this 3-4 section, wave those yellows because she's right in the line.
I will say that when the pits are closed now, that when they do open the pits, I think most everyone will pit. Here's the Justin Wilson move.
Justin Wilson and Elio both got to the inside of Hideki Muto to pass him in turn number 11. Pits are closed. The full course caution is out because of the stalled car of Milka Duno, again driving for the Dale Coyne team this year. On board with Elio, he has moved up to 14th position.
So to follow up on what Jack is saying, if you're the leaders, I would pit now. If I was someone who pitted early because of a possible tire cut, and I had taken on some fuel, this would be the time that I would roll the dice and let the other people pit and get my track position back.
How about you, Mr. Buell?
Well, the one thing is they've done a pretty good stint. Even if you did come in and top off with that fuel, you know, how many more green laps can you get? And it's part of a risk because they always say yellow breeds yellow, so you can maybe come back in. I think right now is, even if I did top off, we've run so many green laps, I probably would come in. So we'll see what Dixon and Wilson do